Running a home service business is hard. So how is it that some people make it look so easy? Well, we'll tell you. This is the Freedom Blueprint Podcast. It's always good to hear the wins that successful contractors have. But have you ever thought that the best advice would be to hear about the speed bumps they encountered, the mistakes they've made along the way? We're going to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. We want you to be successful and avoid the mistakes others have made. Let's get this party started. Welcome to the Freedom Blueprint Podcast. Now your host, Justin Dees.
Welcome to Freedom Blueprint Podcast. I am getting to hang out today with Dirk Payne from Sunshine Plumbing out of beautiful Baton Rouge, Louisiana. How you doing, man?
I'm doing excellent today.
I love the shirt.
Thank you, brother.
And if I could do something to get a shirt, I would totally do it.
Oh, I'll get one in the mail to you.
So anybody who knows Dirk, they know you as the duck guy, right? Like, really cool. And I always think about, like, when I think about Dirk, I think about the duck, and I think about, what the duck, Dirk? Like, what's going on here? So, but before we get into Dirk of today, let's talk about how you got into the trades and what did that look like? What inspired you to be a plumber?
It's a family curse. Like I tell everybody, if you was to draw blood from my system and look underneath a microscope, it's little guys running around with pipe wrenches in their hands. I am a third generation plumber. Fourth generation plumber, third generation shop owner. All my first cousins are plumbers. My dad was a plumber. My papa was a plumber. His dad was a gas fitter back when they used to run the oil lamps.
Okay.
So it's just different. We grew up. My dad put me on a plumbing truck since I was 12 years old, working with him holding the flashlight. By the time I was 15, 16 years old, I was running a Traco ditch digging truck for him. Me and one of my first cousins, just like, if you could imagine today's world, letting a 15, 16-year-old hop in a truck with a tractor hooked to him, take it to a job site, go out there and put 200 foot of sewer lock pipe in the ground.
I wish you would throw everyone in Baton Rouge in jail for that.
Yes. Yeah, but that's what we did. If we weren't in school, we was working on a plumbing truck.
Well, and I think that, the story of how people get into the trades is typically from, either generational. I mean, there's always different stories, and that's cool that, a fourth generation plumber, think about that.
Yeah.
Like that's pretty cool. And third generation shop owner. So, do you currently own the business with any family members?
No, it's just me and my wife. We broke away from my family's plumbing shop 20 years ago to start my own.
Okay. Awesome. So what was the motivator to step? Because that's got to be scary, right? Like you're fourth generation and third generation of a family business. What was the motivator behind taking that leap? Because that's a big leap.
The big thing for me, because first off, I was making a lot of money working for my parents. This is, the early 2000s. I'm making $200,000 a year working for somebody else. And my dad sold the business to my brother, and I helped him make the transition for 1 year. And then when that happened, I broke away and started my own.
Okay. So 20 years now. So now we're going to fast forward a little bit to the Dirk of today. Actually, before we get there, the journey, right? So you start a business, and that's never easy. And if you started in the early 2000s, then you were doing this during, some recessions and some other things that have happened in the world. So what was, for anybody listening, like, what is one of those things when you look back from 20 years ago that you go, dang, man, I wish I would have either A, done this, or B, not done that? Like, what's an example of that?
Two things I wish I would have really done. One, I wish I'd have found a association like Service Alliance.
Okay.
Major input in my life and growing my business today. And I did QSC. I did, and I've always been a member of PHCC. But I think having business coaches has been the most important thing to me. If I could go back, probably two things I'd have probably done. One, actually hired a real accountant and a real
Mm.
CPA right out the gate. If I could go back and do anything, that would probably really be it.
And so many people from the trades, because you think about really even like CPAs, attorneys, from being from the trades, you look at them as it's bad if they're there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, that's kinda bad if they're in the business, but really, they protect your assets, and they typically my wife and I joke because my wife's a virtual CFO, so, we have a pretty awesome CPA, and when we go, she's always like, "I would rather pay my CPA a little bit more money to help me pay a little bit less to the government." So, um, and it is important. It's important to protect yourself, and honestly, you wanna make sure that you're paying the taxes that you're supposed to pay because
It,
nobody wants to be cellmates with Bernie Madoff. Like,
no, and it will come back and haunt you. I can speak from
oh my god.
experience.
Yeah, you can, it's funny, there's a lot of people you might be able to owe money to and skimp on. The government's not that.
Nope.
They will come take your stuff. So yeah, so back to trade associations. Obviously, you and I met through Service Nation. We've both been a part of that organization for a long time, and and obviously I'm a coach, so I'm a little bit biased, but I think that it's so important not only to find a coach, but a coach that's kind of going on that journey with you. And the other thing is networking with other people that are doing the same thing you're doing. Like that is just it's so crucial to so many businesses because man, it sure is nice to make a phone call to somebody and go, "Hey, I'm about to do this thing. What's your thought?" And to get some feedback of, "Dude, here's what I would avoid," or "Man, definitely do this." I mean, it can save thousands of dollars and years off your life. So no, I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, because it's I look back at things I've done. It was like that wasn't good, and I've had other business coaches before. You've been around me. I have a very unique personality. I look at business a little bit different, and people just never really got me. And it wasn't until I got to the group I'm at now where I met people who actually understand the way I think.
I mean, you've got a unique way of operating, and I say unique. I think it's awesome. I think it's a reflection of you, and I think a lot of times people get hung up on thinking that there's only one way to do business. It's just not. I mean, at the end of the day, you got to make more than you spend. There's certain basics that you can't avoid, but there's more than one way to skin a cat.
Exactly.
So, so let's talk about today. So right now you're in Baton Rouge. How big of an area do you guys cover?
We work typically about a 20-mile circumference.
Okay.
We have a little over between Baton Rouge and our surrounding areas. We serve a little over a million clients.
Okay. I did not know Baton Rouge was that
Yeah,
large.
it's Baton Rouge and surrounding areas. So
Okay. Very cool. And primary trade is on the plumbing side, right?
correct.
Do you guys do any so what in the plumbing do you guys specialize in? Is it, obviously it's residential service. Do you guys do any new construction?
We do zero new construction. We do not do any large remodels. We only do small remodels and nothing but service. We do a little bit of work in an industrial side in the plants, but what we do service wise, coming to your house is what we do in the industrial side. So it doesn't change what we do.
Okay, cool. And then you guys do plumbing. Do you guys do any kind of relining or anything outside of that?
We just got into relining back in October of last year. So that's something
Okay.
brand new to us. We still learn the ropes on it, but it's where we just started.
So how is that? How is that go? Anytime you take on a new, because really that's a totally separate business, not model, but it's definitely a different business unit, and it takes a different skill set to do. And there's usually a pretty good
Learning
kind of
curve.
upswing to yeah. So how is that going with you guys?
It's going really good. I'm still trying to find a niche for us in our area. Trying to sell it has really been hard. When you get in there, you tell people, and you get a little kickback because of the price of it.
Yeah.
But Like you either destroy the house to break it up to make the repair, or you reline. And it's coming around. We're having to work with all the insurance adjusters. We're actually going to do a symposium here this next quarter. We're going to take in, bring all the insurance adjusters in, do a big lunch. We rent out a convention center, and we're going to show them what we do that nobody else is doing in town.
Ooh, that's good info. So, okay, so you're going to invite him in, and are you going to make gumbo? That's really what everybody wants to know.
No, we're not going to make gumbo, but whatever the hotel serves.
Okay. It might be gumbo. You're in Baton Rouge.
That's true.
So, okay, so you're going to invite him in, and is the objective for them to use the service in lieu of other things, or is it for them to promote it to customers that they deal with?
It's for them to see an option of what other companies are offering in this town. Because right now, you go in there, they have to tear up the whole house to break out a broken sewer line in the middle of the living room. Here, we can actually just go through a small section on the outside to clean out, go through and reline the line if it's possible.
Man, I think that's awesome. I think, our area, we're in the Gulf Coast where it's not very deep to get to the sewer line, obviously, but you're also not digging under a house because you would drown. And then for the benefit for us here would be the yard. I mean, you start tearing up a yard and the price difference is going to be, well, you're going to pay the landscaping crew and the whatever. So that's awesome. And keep me posted on how that goes. I've always been interested in relining. I don't know too much about it. I do know some business owners that really do well in that. So if you want a connection to that, let me know. I certainly will be happy to.
I appreciate it because it's been a new journey. And like I said, we're getting pushback from the insurance adjusters, but I think once we really show them, it's going to explode for us.
Yeah, I agree. And I think the strategy that you're going after, one, it's unique and it's different. And I think they'll appreciate that because, most people they're not going to do that. And I think that's pretty awesome. So let's shift to What the Duck, man. How did that come about? Like tell me the story of that.
All right. The duck actually goes back about 25, maybe 30 years ago. I was in Washington, D.C. on a lobbying trip for the PHCC, and a plain plumbing truck came by, and it had maybe 8-inch to 12-inch rubber duck on the side of the truck. And I loved it. It just stuck with me. And when I started my business, it was like, okay, I want a rubber duck. And we had the first fully wrapped trucks in our area. And we started off with a Hackney box truck. And our duck, so the duck on the side of our truck was over 6 foot tall. And back then, I had spike hair, so my wife put spike hair on the duck. I only have one eye, so I always in glasses, and so my wife put sunglasses on the duck, and there it is. And that has been the greatest thing we've ever come up with. We get calls 2 or 3 times a week still today of people going, "Those trucks just make me smile."
Listen, and I've told you this since we met. I think it is such a brilliant marketing scheme, like not even scheme. It's a great branding tool, right? So you want to do things that are a little bit different. And the truth is, had you slapped, Dirk Plumbing on the side of it, you certainly would not have had the notoriety that you do now, especially from the customers and the community and all those things. So here's a question: why does the duck not have the beard?
I didn't have a beard back then, so I was doing a lot of industrial work, so it was clean shaven. Now, but we can't change the duck.
So for anybody listening, if you want to get a visual of what we're talking about, check out their website. It's sunshineplumbingco.com. Is that right?
That's correct. Or ducktruck.net.
Or ducktruck.net. And you guys have done fantastic with the branding, and it is. I never see Dirk around at any industry events where he is not sporting the ducks. I can spot you from across the room. Like, oh, there's Dirk. I'm going to go talk to him.
I actually get in trouble if I show up without duck shirts on. Somebody's going like, "Man, where's the ducks?"
Again, that is just a sign that your branding is awesome and amazing, because it is that memorable that people are like, "Whoa, wait a minute. That's pretty cool." And I think that's great that being a being a generational plumber that you have that marketing mindset.
I mean, marketing's fun.
Impressive.
Thank you. I mean, marketing's fun. It's my favorite subject.
That's pretty cool. So so we've got the duck without a beard.
Without a beard.
Maybe there'll be a new duck with that'll make a cameo appearance with a beard. But so you've got all this, you've got this amazing brand. What is the future going to look like for Sunshine Plumbing?
We have a lofty goal of building to become the premier plumbing company in Baton Rouge. Right now we're averaging in general 40% growth every year. We look to add 2 to 3 trucks every year.
Wait, that's worth repeating. What's the growth per month or per year?
40%.
That is staggering.
Thank you. It's been a great 5 years.
Sorry, that makes me smile, just like the dude.
Awesome. But yes.
All right, so 40% growth. Then what else you got?
Like I said, we try to add 2 to 3 trucks every year. It's our minimums. And we're starting into a whole new division, which is going to be launching soon, which is our HVAC division.
I mean, let's be honest, HVAC in Southern Louisiana, I think you might get some phone calls.
We're just going to get a couple.
So, okay. So that's a whole different adventure. And you and I have talked about this before. With our business, we went out and we acquired a small HVAC company to jump in. And it was a lot different than what I initially expected it to be. I think you've got a solid plan. I think you've got a great plan on what a win's going to look like. But what sort of made you make that decision to leap into another trade?
Baton Rouge has 2 large plumbing companies in town. One of the big things to separate us from those to be able to grow to the manpower to hit our goals, it's going to require another division. And so by adding this, it'll easily double our size. And I'd say in 2 years.
I would agree if done well, and I have zero doubt that you will not crush that. Yeah, I think that you'll probably be twice the size, and I think that's fantastic. So I'm a little surprised though that you're not like you say, premier plumber in Baton Rouge. What? I don't want to say why are you not, because I'm willing to bet that you are for most customers. But what does that mean to you? Like what would it look like for you to be that premier, for you to go, yep, that's me?
There's another company. There's 2 companies in our town. One's a national, one's non. The other one is actually my family's business.
Okay.
They are both the largest companies in town. Both are 15 million a year plus companies. So
Plumbing only.
What's that?
Plumbing only.
Plumbing only.
Okay.
And so to be able to achieve and get above those guys is just taking a lot of work. I do believe that my guys do a better job. Everything that we do from Sunshine's point of view is different, and we give our customers a better service. So in those forms, I think we are the premier, but to become where we're synonymous in this town with the name plumbing, or in our future heating and air, we got a little more work to do.
That's fantastic. What type of, how do you feel about your culture and your company? Does it live and breathe this duck sunshine feeling?
Yeah. I mean, everything about me, if you come to my shop, you can't see it from my cam, but my walls in my office are yellow. You go down our hallways, they're blue. There's ducks everywhere. All our cooking equipment's got ducks on it. We are completely submerged into it. And I really believe buying into, you must completely just saturate your employees and yourself with this identity to make it work.
Yeah. I mean, to get buy-in, especially when you think about, we had some challenges like with our company. We wear Hawaiian shirts, and it was funny because there's times where people would come interview and they're like, well, I'm not wearing that shirt. We're like, oh man, okay, well, nice to meet you. Like, it is who we are. It is our culture. If you're not willing, if you're so not flexible that you're not willing to buy into the culture before you get started, we've certainly saved a lot of time. But do you ever run into that where people come in and they're like, "Yeah, I'm not wearing the duck thing."
Yeah, I mean, we get that actually quite often. Almost, I'd say 70% of the guys I hire, they're like, "Do we really have to wear the duck shirts?" And for the people that's not going to see the video, our shirts are covered in rubber ducks, just like polka dots.
Yep.
And it is completely our culture, and customers love it, absolutely love it. I mean, we sell 6 to 10 shirts a month of people just calling to buy our shirts to wear.
Okay, so do you have a spot on your website to sell your
I
shirts?
do not. I need to add a store, but people just call it off and say, "Can I buy a shirt?"
Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, that's awesome. If you ever check out, my friend Levi owns High Five Plumbing, and his brand is kind of like that, where he is like opened a whole little store of all kinds of stuff and sells products and services. So,
I'm going to go
um,
check that out.
yeah, High Five Plumbing. He's that guy does an amazing job with all his marketing, and he really does a good job. So, I love that. Like you're gonna, and for a customer, if they're gonna buy your shirt, dude, that you want to talk about a customer for life. There's
Right?
there's one thing for a customer to buy a maintenance agreement. There's another thing for them to buy a shirt and then wear the shirt. That's just that's so
Yeah.
incredible.
No, you can't get that type of publicity,
Mm-mm. And you're charging them for it. Even
and you're
better.
charging them.
Even better. I love it. Love it. Love it. Well, cool. Yeah, I'm so glad you came and hung out with us a little bit. I just wanted to get to know a little bit more about Dirk and the story. And if anybody wanted to get in touch with you to ask any questions, how would they do that?
I mean, you can call me at my office, 225-262-2322, or my email is dirk@ducktruck.net.
Ducktruck.net. I love it.
And, you know, what you got to remember about my whole story is you got to remember 5 years ago, I was homeless. People forget
Oh,
that, you know.
well, I'm guessing people don't know that because I definitely did not know that.
I thought you knew that story. You know,
Did not.
2016, we lost everything in a national disaster of a flood. And it wasn't, we literally lived in the tool room of my plumbing shop with no walls in it for 2 years.
So how do you go from that to the explosive growth, positive attitude? Like so many people, any kind of speed bump is, to some people can be an absolute hindrance on anything. But how do you go from that to explosive growth like you've had the last 5 years?
It took me a little while to get my head out of my butt for a little while.
Okay.
Felt sorry for myself. You know, we got knocked down we were a pretty good sized company beforehand, lost 18 vehicles. Not all company trucks. We had only 5 company trucks then. Then went through the flood, finally rebuilt our house. We kind of just crept along till 2020 when COVID hit. I don't know if you know, I have a son with autism.
Mhm.
And so it's like, shit, this hit. It's like, I'm bankrupt. When COVID hit, it was like, I'm bankrupt. And me and my son, Cody, which is my service manager now, it was just me and him. And we sat down, had a conversation, and we dropped the hammer. And we went from just me and him in 2020. Today, we have 16 employees now, plus 8 trucks.
Fantastic.
And it's just drive, you know, it reset. I just had to reset my goals, see what I wanted and how to get it.
Well, and grit, right?
Yeah, and grit.
Like that's just pure grit. I mean, listen, sometimes it's easy to call it good. You're like, yeah, I'm good. I'm calling it good. But I think it speaks a lot to your character and your determination, right?
Right.
To roll up your sleeves and say, nah, we're about to crush this thing. So, hold my beer. I'm about to jump all over this thing.
You know, it's, you know, me and my son today, my oldest son, having a conversation. It's like, okay, you have to make a decision. What you want to see your future is in the next few years? Do you want to run this company? So you buy me out, or do we sell it to somebody and back off and do something else?
Yeah.
And it's hard to believe where we've come from to here now. It's, we can see what the future is.
Man, that's fantastic. Well, Dirk, thank you for sharing. I'm so glad you came and hung out with us a little bit. I just wanted to get to know a little bit more about Dirk and the story. And if anybody wanted to get in touch with you to ask any questions, how would they do that?
I mean, you can call me at my office, or my email is dirk@ducktruck.net.
I know you got a big bad company to run. But I do, man. I appreciate you sharing, and I look forward to seeing you. I think we're going to see each other here pretty soon.
Okay, sounds great.
See each other pretty soon. So cool, man. Well, everybody, head up his website. I'm telling you, it will make you smile. It's fantastic.
We got a great Facebook page.
Facebook's fantastic. Yeah, I mean, marketing all the way around. You guys have just done such a phenomenal job.
Thank you.
So appreciate you being on, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
You've been listening to the Freedom Blueprint Podcast. Information is useless if not applied. So take what you've learned and go and implement it. We hope you've enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to like, rate, and review. We'll be back soon. But in the meantime, find us on social media at Freedom Blueprint for Home Services and hit the website at www.freedomblueprintpodcast.com. See you next time.